So, we meet again. Hey, you guys. We'll get started in the usual 5 minutes at 2 o'clock East Coast time. I hope everybody's having a good summer so far. Hi, Julie, Josh, and Abby, and Ian and Erica. I'm having a good summer. Not that exciting, but it's okay. Aylin, hi, in Mineola, and the Phillips kids in Alabama, hi. Skyla, glad you could make it. And Maddox in Indiana. Ralph Hammelbacher. Hey, Ralph. Marcus is here, and so is Jack and John. I could see you all staring at me. Srikar in India. It's almost bedtime in India. Srikar, go to bed. Gianluca is here, and Lyra. Malia in Nashville. You guys gonna be sad when this is over? I missed that one, sorry. Hi, Philip. Hi, Lucy from New Jersey. I'll be sad. The Markwood crew in Florida are here, as they always are, and so is Darcy. Yeah, you know, we got about, 14 of these things left to go. Abigail and Chester, hi, in North Carolina, and the Hajars in Bernardsville, New Jersey. Maddie and Mitch, and Sunny Bunny is here, whoever that is. And Peter and Ben, and we're going to get started in about 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Rashid, Inesh, hi. I'm going to take a sip of my water. Grant, hi Grant. I know where Grant is. Grant's in Virginia, right? Billy Bob, Ethan and Hayden. Patrick's here. Yeah, I was right about Virginia. See, we've gotten to know each other so well, Grant. I know where you're from. Hi, Sophia. JJ and Jet are here. Marianne and Margaret. Ashlyn and in Myrtle Beach, and Inesh and Rishit. Somebody asked what time I do this. I do this at 2 o'clock every weekday. Aiden and Ariana in Pennington, New Jersey, and Liam and Amelia in Minnesota. There's almost there's 100 of us in the room right now. Call your friends, call your relatives, your friend down the street, your enemy down the street, that kid you hate. You know, let them know that I'm doing this, and we can all watch together. Well, I can't watch. You guys can watch. I have to do this, so I can't watch. But I can watch later, so I will. Hi, Neil. And Finley and Fisher and Maryland. We got about 2 minutes to go. Annapura, Charlie from Kentucky. Javen and Johan and Haley and Liliana in Paradise, California. Hi, Jim. Jim's here, the illustrator. William is here, and Adya from New Jersey. Ainsley and Lila. Annabelle. And John V. Hi, John V. Wyatt. Hudson and Cooper are here from St. Louis, and Colin and Cora in Illinois. We got about a little bit more than 1 minute to go. Hey, Rocco and Vincent. Denise Alexander, do I know you? Devin hasn't missed one yet. Neither have I. Arella is here, and Leo. Hi, Leo. Connor and Aiden. And Evan in New Jersey, and Mallory and Magnolia here. Evelyn and Patrick are back. Bryn, hi Bryn. Kenan from Turkey is here. Glad you could make it. And we have our Canadian friends. Adam is here. Jay and Maya. Billy Sickles. Okay, we got a half a minute to go before we get started. Tyler, hi. Ben, good to see you. Hope everybody's having a good day. Eli in Enid, Oklahoma. Adam and Scarlett in Iowa. We have, only 10 seconds to go. You guys ready from 10 seconds? The Shoemaker kids are here. All right, I better count them down because it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's go time, baby. Hi, Dan Gutman here. I'm the author of the My Weird School books and other books for kids too. Welcome to number 86 in My Weird Read Aloud. And let's immediately get to our question of the day, which is from Aiden in Virginia, who asked, are you an adult character in any of your books? Good question. Not exactly, Aiden. I would say that the closest I would come would be in my series, The Genius Files, about these two kids traveling cross-country in an RV with their parents over summer vacation. And I'd say I'm pretty much like the dad, the clueless dad in The Genius Files, Dr. McDonald. He's a history professor. And I guess I'm kind of like him. Other than that, I just make stuff up. Okay, so let's get to our book of the week, which is the summer special, Bummer in the Summer, the My Weird School summer special. And if you tuned in yesterday, you know that AJ is really excited about summer vacation because he doesn't have to deal with school and Andrea and all those other things that he doesn't like. So he goes to sleep really happy, and in the middle of the night, he's awoken by the underwear wolf, which is basically his friend Billy from around the corner, who says that you're going to be haunted by ghosts. And AJ thinks he's just having a bad dream. But an hour later, he wakes up again, and there's a ghost hovering over him, over his bed in his bedroom. And the ghost looks just like Mr. Klutz, the principal at school. And he can fly. And he takes AJ flying out the window. He says he's the ghost of summers past. And he takes AJ to last summer, where he sees himself. AJ sees himself a year earlier saying mean things to Andrea. And Andrea is saying mean things to him. And that's pretty much where we left off yesterday. So that's where we're going to pick it up today with chapter 4. And we're going to do chapter 4, 5, and 6 today. And chapter 4 is titled The L Word. I think you know what that means. So gather around your big screen TV, your laptop, your tablet, your smartphone. Let's do this thing. Chapter 4. I followed the ghost of Mr. Klutz as we swooped higher into the sky. Then we zoomed really fast away from the ocean. Where are you taking me now? I asked. You'll find out, the ghost of Mr. Klutz replied. Flying is so cool. I wish I could fly everywhere. We swooped down lower, and I could see the rooftop of elementary school in the distance. That's my school. Wait, you're taking me to school? I asked. Yes, the ghost of Mr. Klutz replied, in more ways than one. We were getting closer to the school. The ghost of Mr. Klutz wasn't slowing down. It looked like we were going to crash right into the wall of the school. Watch out! I shouted, putting my hands over my eyes. But we didn't crash. We flew right through the wall. It was the coolest thing ever. Being a temporary ghost was fun. The ghost of Mr. Klutz and I flew through the wall into the vomitorium. It used to be called the cafetorium, but then some first grader threw up in there and everybody started calling it the vomitorium. It was all decorated for Halloween, with pictures of witches and pumpkins and bats and stuff. The whole gang was sitting below us eating lunch, including me, AJ, in the past. Can they see or hear us? I asked the ghost of Mr. Klutz. No, he replied as we hovered over the table. Do you remember this day, AJ? Oh yeah, I replied. Halloween is my favorite holiday. Do you love it? The ghost of Mr. Klutz asked me. Ugh, he said the L word. I didn't answer. I try to never say the L word out loud. That's the first rule of being a kid. Wait a minute, I said. I thought you were the ghost of summers past. Halloween isn't in the summer? Asked the ghost of Mr. Klutz. Oops, I really need to get a calendar. Below us, my friends were talking about Miss Mary, who was a student teacher and also happens to be Mr. Klutz's daughter. Miss Mary is scary, AJ in the past said. She looks like a vampire, said Neil. Maybe she really is a vampire, said AJ in the past. Did you ever think of that? She dresses in all black. She wears black makeup. She's got a pet bat. Stop trying to scare Emily, Andrea told AJ in the past. I'm scared, said Emily. Miss Mary probably lives in a cave and sleeps hanging upside down from the ceiling, said AJ in the past. Then she goes out at night and bites people in the neck and drinks their blood. We've got to do something, Emily yelled. And then she went running out of the vomitorium. Here's a picture of AJ talking to the kids in the past, where AJ, the real AJ, is flying with Mr. Clot, the ghost of summers past. Okay. Everybody laughed except Andrea, who made a mean face at AJ in the past. The ghost of Mr. Klutz turned to me. That wasn't very nice, AJ. The things you said that day weren't nice to Emily, and it wasn't nice what you said about my daughter either. I was just trying to be funny, I told him. Sometimes what's funny to you isn't funny to other people, the ghost of Mr. Klutz told me. Sometimes what's funny to you hurts other people's feelings. What if I say I'm sorry, I asked. It's too late now, said the ghost of Mr. Klutz. That happened a long time ago. Let's go. I followed the ghost of Mr. Klutz as he flew through the wall again and out of the school. You seem to have a lot of anger in you, AJ, the ghost of Mr. Klutz said as we flew over the rooftops. It's not nice to be a hater. I'm not a hater, I told the ghost of Mr. Klutz. I hate haters. Is that so? He replied, taking a piece of paper out of his pocket as he flew. I made a little list of things you've said you hate. Let me see. You said you hate school. You said you hate spiders. You hate reading out loud, tests, snot, ferrets, germs, being smart, putting on plays, board games, taking a bath, flowers, rain. Here's Jim's picture of Mr. Klutz reading his list of things that AJ has said that he hates in the past. Yeah, I guess I did say I hate those things, I admitted. Getting hit by water balloons, the ghost of Mr. Klutz continued. Coffee, dead fish, when a helicopter falls on your head, zombies, when the school gets attacked by monsters, toilet seats, when an alien spaceship lands in the middle of the playground, when an asteroid crashes into the Earth and wipes out all life on our planet. Yeah, I said I hate that stuff too, come to think of it, I admitted. Okay, so I know lots of things that you hate, the ghost of Mr. Klutz said. Now, tell me some of the things that you love. He said the L word again. I don't L anything. Are you telling the truth, AJ? The ghost of Mr. Klutz asked me. Of course I'm telling the truth. If you're not telling the truth, the ghost of Mr. Klutz said, that would make you a hater and a liar. I never told a lie in my life, I insisted. Oh no, said the ghost of Mr. Klutz. You said there would be no ghosts in this book, and here I am. So that was a lie? Hey, I didn't know you were going to show up, I shouted at him. I was really mad now. I'm innocent. I think you might have an anger management problem, AJ, the ghost of Mr. Klutz told me. It would be good if you could appreciate some of the nice things in life, all the things that you love. Ugh, he said that word again. I bet there are lots of things that you love, AJ, said the ghost of Mr. Klutz. The L word is for girls, I told him. Love is for everybody, AJ, he replied. Admit it. No. We were getting close to my house. It's time for you to go back home now, the ghost of Mr. Klutz told me as we hovered outside my window. As you mentioned, it's a school night. Can't we fly around some more? I asked. Flying is awesome. Will you admit that you love flying, AJ? I didn't want to say the L word out loud. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I had to think fast. This was the worst thing to happen since TV turnoff week. But I couldn't say it. I wasn't going to say the L word, so I didn't say anything. "Good night, AJ," said the ghost of Mr. Klutz with a sigh. I climbed back through the window and got into bed. I turned around to say goodbye, but the ghost of Mr. Klutz was already gone. I touched my skin. I wasn't a ghost anymore. I pulled the covers up over my head and went back to sleep. This was turning out to be a very weird night, and it was about to get weirder. It's chapter 4. Chapter 5, you ready? It's titled, "Two Words That Should Never Be in the Same Sentence." I thought that was the end of it. Seeing the ghost of Mr. Klutz had to be just a once-in-a-lifetime bad dream. Nothing like that could ever happen again. But then something else weird happened. The clock struck 11, and I thought, I should really get myself a clock. Just as I was falling back asleep, I heard another spooky voice. "AJ, AJ, AJ." When I opened my eyes, I saw that there were two ghosts floating over my bed. "Ah!" I screamed. The ghosts put their fingers to their lips. "Shh," they whispered. "Help!" I shouted. "Security! There's somebody in my room!" "Shh." "What are you doing in my bedroom?" I asked. "How did you get in here? Isn't this breaking and entering?" The words, "Read like crazy," were on the ghosts' shirts, and the ghosts were each carrying a big cardboard box. I looked at the ghosts more closely. They looked a lot like Mr. Mackey, our reading specialist, and Mrs. Rupee, our librarian. "Mrs. Rupee," I called out. "Mr. Mackey?" "Never heard of those people," said the ghost that looked like Mrs. Rupee. "We are the ghosts of summer reading." "What?" "Summer and reading are two words that should never be in the same sentence. That's the first rule of being a kid." "I never heard of the ghosts of summer reading," I said. "It's a thing," said Mr. Mackey. "You two look just like Mr. Mackey and Mrs. Rupee from my school." "We get that all the time," said the ghost of Mr. Mackey. "We brought you some presents, AJ," said the ghost of Mrs. Rupee. Presents? I like getting presents. Maybe they weren't bad ghosts. I wondered what was in the boxes they were carrying. The ghosts floated down and put them on the edge of my bed. And here's the ghosts of Mr. Mackey and Mrs. Rupee leaving presents at AJ's bed. "Is there a new video game system in there?" I asked excitedly. "Is it a new skateboard?" "No," said Mr. Mackey. "We brought you some books." "What? Books? I hate books. I don't even know why you're reading this one. Books are boring. Reading is boring." "I don't like to read," I told the two ghosts. They let out eerie, cackling laughs as they opened the boxes. "Whoa! That's too bad," said Mr. Mackey, pulling out a thick book and handing it to me. "Because this summer, your assignment will be to read the complete works of William Shakespeare." "No!" I shouted, covering my ears. "Not Shakespeare. He's the most boring of them all." Mrs. Rupee pulled a fat book out of her box. "This is the first book of a 20-book encyclopedia," she told me. "You'll have to read all 20 books." "No!" I screamed at her. "Not an encyclopedia!" There was nothing I could do. They were already pulling more books out of their boxes. Fiction, nonfiction, chapter books, non-chapter books, picture books, non-picture books. It was horrible. I wanted to run away to Antarctica and live with the penguins. "And after that, just for fun," said Mr. Mackey, "we're going to have you read a complete collection of all the books that have won the Newbery Medal." "No!" No, not the Newbery books, I screamed. Anything but them. I'll be bored to death. Oh, and by the way, said Mr. Mackey, there will be a test on all these books on the first day of school in September. No, 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 I shouted. I hate reading and I hate tests. Get out of my bedroom. Have a good summer. Reading, said Mrs. Rupee. The two of them broke into another eerie, cackling laugh as they flew through the window. I could hear them chanting, I before E, except after C, or when sounding like A, as in neighbor and way. I before E, except after C. I lay my head back on the pillow. It was another terrible dream. No, not a dream. It was a nightmare. This was the worst thing to happen since National Poetry Month. When would I wake up from this awful night? I couldn't wait for the morning to come. Somehow, I managed to fall back asleep, but I was tossing and turning the whole time. All right, chapter 6. Bad news and worse news. AJ, AJ, AJ. Oh no, not again. I had been sleeping peacefully when I heard more voices above my bed. I opened my eyes. This time, there were 3 ghosts floating over me. Ah! It was Miss Daisy, Mr. Granite, and Mr. Cooper. All 3 teachers I've had at elementary school. I had never seen them together. And here's Jim's picture of the 3 teachers' ghosts floating over AJ's bed in the middle of the night. All his teachers. Hello, AJ, said the ghost of Mr. Granite. Long time no see. Mr. Granite, I said, I thought you went back to your home planet. I did, he replied, but I came back here because we have some important news for you. What is it? There's bad news and worse news, said the ghost of Miss Daisy. Which do you want to hear first? This has been a horrible night so far, I told him. Give me the bad news first. You're going to have to repeat 3rd grade, said the ghost of Mr. Cooper. What? I have to do 3rd grade all over again? That's right, said the ghost of Mr. Cooper. Why? What did I do? Let me see, said the ghost of Mr. Cooper. You talk in class. You shout things out without raising your hand. You don't turn in your homework. You come to school late. I couldn't argue with that. You're absent too many days, continued the ghost of Mr. Granite. You go to the bathroom just to get out of class. You put a worm in Emily's sneaker during recess. You wrote "kick me" on a piece of paper and taped it to Andrea's back. You told Emily she had 6 toes on each foot. You started a war by shooting rubber bands at the girls' Barbie dolls. You hypnotized Andrea and told her that her feet smell like rotten cabbage. Should we continue? Said the ghosts of Mr. Cooper and Mr. Granite. But I don't want to go through 3rd grade all over again. Are you ready for the worst news? Asked the ghost of Miss Daisy. No, I groaned. Before you go through 3rd grade all over again, she said, you have to go through 2nd grade all over again. And 1st grade too. You're going to have to start school all over again from the beginning. What? I shouted. No, that's not fair. Sorry, said the ghost of Mr. Granite. And oh, by the way, from now on, school is going to be all year round. No more summer vacation. What? Yes, the Board of Education changed the schedule, said the ghost of Mr. Cooper. They found that during summer vacation, kids forget much of what they learned during the school year. So the Board of Education decided to get rid of summer vacation entirely. Ah! All right, that's the end of chapter 6. Tomorrow, we'll start on chapter 7, which is titled, The Ghost of Now. But first, before we go, how about our joke of the day? How about a summer joke? You ready for a summer joke? All right, here it is. Here's the summer joke. Where do sharks go on summer vacation? Where do sharks go on summer vacation? Give up? Finland. Get it? All right, I like that one. Okay, look, you guys, get off the couch. Stop staring at screens. Let's thank Josh Salzman and Ryan Cunningham for our theme song. You know it. You love it. Let's do it. Get off the couch and dance with me, okay? No man, is that man nuts? My weird school, 1,100,000 hours long. My weird school, where normal things do not belong. My weird school, where art is cool, and the teachers are strange as a rule. And my weird school, my weird school. Oh yeah, it's my weird school. All right, you guys. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Till then, wash your hands like crazy and read like crazy too. Bye now.